You've probably been told that the tiredness, the aching joints, the cramps that wake you up at 2 in the morning, that's just part of getting older. But a lot of what gets written off as aging isn't aging at all. It's your body waving a little flag, telling you it's running low on something it needs. And today, I'm going to show you the 21 signs it sends, exactly which nutrient each one points to, and how to fix it fast. Now, look, I'm not going to stand here and pretend nothing changes as the years go by. Of course it does. But here's what that "it's just age" explanation quietly misses. Most people feel these signs, shrug, and decide to live with them for years, when in a lot of cases, the fix is sitting in their kitchen right now. And here's the part that catches people off guard. You'd think the answer is simply eat better, but it's not that simple, and not for the reason you'd think. Because aging itself makes you more likely to run low, even if you're eating exactly the way you always have. As you get older, your stomach makes less acid, and that acid is what pulls nutrients like B12, calcium, and iron out of your food. Less acid, less absorption, the same plate of food, but less of it actually getting into you. And some of the most common medications people your age take every single day, they quietly drain those same nutrients right back out. If you take something for blood sugar, or acid reflux, or blood pressure, there's a good chance it's affecting at least one nutrient on this list. We'll get to which ones. So you can do everything right at the dinner table and still come up short. That's not a personal failing. That's just how the body works after 60. And if you've been feeling these things, quietly wondering if you're just falling apart, I want you to hear this clearly. You're not. These signs are real. You're not imagining them. And most of them point to something you can actually fix. Quickly. Cheaply. Often with food you already have in the house. So whether it's the deep fatigue that no amount of sleep seems to touch, the leg cramps in the middle of the night, the tingling in your hands and feet, or that fog where you walk into a room and completely forget why you went in. Stay with me. Because by the end of this, you're going to know exactly what your body has been trying to tell you, and exactly what to do about it. But before we get to the signs themselves, let me show you why your body slips into this so easily as you age, because that one thing is what ties all 21 of these together. Think of your stomach acid as a key. That acid doesn't just digest your food, it unlocks the nutrients inside it. It pries the B12, the calcium, the iron loose from what you eat so your body can actually use them. Here's what changes with age. Somewhere around 60, and even more so past 70, your stomach starts producing noticeably less of that acid. For a lot of people, it's a fraction of what they made at 40. So the key gets weaker. The lock doesn't fully open, and nutrients that should be flowing into your bloodstream just pass on through instead. Same breakfast you've eaten for 30 years, but now you're pulling a fraction of the fuel out of it, and nothing about how that food looks or tastes tells you it's happening. Now add this on top. The medications. Some of the most common prescriptions for people your age actively pull nutrients out of you. The most widely prescribed diabetes drug is well known to lower B12 over time. The acid-reducing pills that millions take for heartburn cut your stomach acid even further, so even less B12, magnesium, and calcium gets through. And water pills for blood pressure flush magnesium and potassium right out along with the extra fluid. Now, I am not telling you to stop any of those. Please don't. I'm telling you so you know to watch for the gap they can leave behind and fill it. So between weaker absorption and nutrient-draining medications, here's where most people quietly end up. Low, slowly, invisibly, low. And I don't mean a rare few. Look at the numbers. Vitamin B12 deficiency affects around 1 in 5 people over 60, and by some estimates, as many as 40%. That's 2 out of every 5 older adults walking around low, most with no idea, every symptom waved off as just getting older. Magnesium is even more striking. In a national study of more than 5,000 adults aged 65 and up, over 8 in 10 weren't getting enough. 8 in 10. At that point, being low isn't the exception, being fine is, and here's what makes this so easy to miss. You might be thinking, wouldn't my blood work catch this? Not always. Most of your body's magnesium is stored inside your cells and your bones, not floating in your blood. so a standard test can read perfectly normal while you're actually running low. B12 can do the same thing, come back in range while your body is already short on what it needs. So people get told they're fine, and the signs keep stacking up anyway. Now I want to slow down for a second because this is the part that really matters. A nutrient gap on its own is not a catastrophe, it's fixable. That's the entire point of this video. But a nutrient gap that gets ignored for years, that's a different story. Take B12. Low B12 doesn't just leave you tired and foggy. Left long enough, it can begin to damage the nerves in your hands and feet. And there's a window where that damage is fully reversible, and then a point where it simply isn't. I've heard from people who spent 3, 4, 5 years being told their numbness, their unsteadiness, their bone-deep exhaustion was just age, when the whole time it was a few dollar fix nobody had pointed them to. And by the time someone finally connected the dots, some of it had already set in for good. That's what's really at stake here. Not the deficiency itself, the years of writing it off. So the goal today is simple. Catch the signal early. Fill the gap, long before it ever gets to that point. So let's get into the signs themselves, starting with the 2 nutrients that go wrong the most and cause the most trouble when they do. And the first of those 2 nutrients is vitamin B12. If you remember one thing about B12, make it this. It's the nutrient your nerves and your brain run on. So when it runs low, the signs show up in how you feel, how you think, and how you move. Here are the first 6. Sign 1. Tingling or numbness in your hands and feet. That pins and needles feeling, a little numbness in your fingertips or your toes. Most people blame circulation. Very often it's B12, because without enough of it, the protective coating around your nerves starts to fray. This is the one I never want you to brush off. It's the sign tied directly to the nerve damage we talked about a moment ago. Sign 2. Exhaustion that sleep doesn't fix. Not regular tired. The kind where you sleep a full 8 hours and wake up feeling like you barely slept at all. B12 helps your blood carry oxygen. Low B12, less oxygen reaching your muscles and organs, and suddenly everything feels like more effort than it should. Sign 3. Brain fog and memory slips. Walking into a room and forgetting why. Losing the word that was right on your tongue. Thinking through mud. B12 is fuel for your brain, and a deficiency can actually mimic the early signs of something far scarier when the real cause is completely reversible. Sign 4. Feeling unsteady on your feet. A little wobble when you walk. Reaching for the wall more than you used to. When low B12 affects the nerves running down to your legs, it throws off your balance, and that runs in a straight line to your risk of a fall. Sign 5. A sore, smooth red tongue. This one catches people off guard. A tongue that looks unusually smooth and red, or feels sore or almost burning. It's one of the most overlooked early signs of B12 deficiency there is. Sign 6. Feeling low, flat, or more irritable than usual. B12 helps make the brain chemicals that keep your mood steady. When it dips, a lot of people feel inexplicably down or short-fused, and never once think to connect it to a vitamin. So that's B12. 6 signs, 1 nutrient. If a few of those sounded a little too familiar, make a mental note. The fix is coming. Now, vitamin D. And this one's a different animal because it works on your bones and your muscles. Sign 7. A deep ache in your bones. Not your joints, your bones. A dull ache in your lower back, your hips, your shins. Vitamin D is what lets you absorb calcium and keep your bones solid. When it's low, the bones themselves can start to ache. Sign 8. Weak muscles, especially in your legs. Struggling to push up out of a chair, stairs feeling steeper than they used to. Here's how real this is. In a study of more than 4,000 adults past 60, the ones lowest in vitamin D had weak muscle strength at nearly double the rate of those with healthy levels, 40% versus 22%. That is not a small gap. Sign 9. Falling more, or feeling like you might. Weak muscles and shaky balance travel together, and vitamin D sits underneath both, and this is why it matters so much. In one study, more than half of the older adults admitted to the hospital with a broken hip were vitamin D deficient, more than half. Sign 10. Catching every bug that goes around. If you seem to pick up every cold and it takes you forever to shake it off, that's worth a look too. Vitamin D plays a real role in your immune defenses. Run low, and that defense is working at half strength, so that's the first 10. The nerve and brain signs of low B12 and the bone and muscle signs of low vitamin D. Next, we get into the nutrient that more than 8 in 10 of you are short on, and the very specific signs that come with it. That nutrient is magnesium. And remember the number, more than 8 in 10 older adults aren't getting enough. So if this next group hits home, you are in very large company. Here's the simplest way to understand magnesium. It's your body's great relaxer. It's what lets your muscles release, your nerves settle, your mind wind down, your heart hold a calm, steady rhythm. So when you run low, the theme is always the same. The things that are supposed to relax just can't. Sign 11. Muscle cramps, especially at night. That Charlie horse that grabs your calf at 2 in the morning and nearly sends you through the roof. Cramps in your feet, in your legs. Magnesium is what lets a tightened muscle let go. Without enough of it, your muscles stay locked when they should be releasing. Sign 12. Little twitches and eyelid flutters. That annoying flutter in your eyelid that carries on for days. A twitch in a muscle you can't will to stop. Small thing, but it's a classic whisper of low magnesium. Sign 13. Restless, broken sleep. Lying there wired when you're bone tired, waking at 3 and staring at the ceiling. Magnesium helps quiet your nervous system for sleep and helps produce the brain chemicals that bring it on. Run low and rest just won't come. Sign 14. Feeling tense and unable to wind down. That low hum of being on edge for no real reason. A tightness you can't shake off. If magnesium is what calms the nervous system, then being short on it leaves that system stuck in a higher gear than it's meant to be. Sign 15. A fluttering or pounding heart. This one you pay attention to. Magnesium helps regulate your heart's rhythm. When it's low, some people feel skipped beats, a flutter, a pounding in the chest. Always worth mentioning to your doctor. And very often, magnesium is part of the picture. So that's magnesium, the relaxation nutrient. And when it goes missing, nothing relaxes. Now to the last nutrient in this group. Iron. Iron has one job above all others. It carries oxygen through your blood to every corner of your body. So when it's low, the signs are all about running out of fuel. Sign 16. Deep fatigue with pale skin. Worn out in a way that's hard to put into words, and looking washed out with it. Try this. Pull down your lower eyelid. If the inside looks pale instead of a healthy pink, that's a real clue. Less iron means less oxygen reaching you, and that leaves a tiredness that settles deep in your bones. Sign 17. Restless legs at night. That crawling, can't keep them still feeling in your legs the moment you lie down. It drives people up the wall, and it's strongly linked to low iron. For a lot of folks, sorting out the iron is what finally quiets the legs. Sign 18. Brittle nails and cold hands and feet. Nails that crack, peel, or curve into a little spoon shape. Hands and feet that stay cold when everyone around you is comfortable. Maybe you're winded going up a flight of stairs you used to take without a thought. It all traces back to the same thing, not enough oxygen getting where it needs to go. And I want to pause here for just a second. If you've been nodding along to a lot of these, feeling a little called out, I don't want that to land as bad news. It's the opposite. Every single sign we've covered points to something with a name, something specific, something you can actually do something about. That is a far better place to stand than I guess this is just how it is now. So let's finish the list. 3 more signs pointing to one last nutrient, and then I'll show you exactly how to start closing these gaps. Fast. That last nutrient is vitamin C. And it's not just the cold and flu vitamin you're picturing. Vitamin C is what your body uses to build collagen, the scaffolding that holds your gums, your skin, and the walls of your blood vessels together. So when you run low, things start to break down right at the surface where you can actually see them. Sign 19. Bleeding or swollen gums. Gums that bleed when you brush. Gums that look puffy or feel tender. Before you assume it's purely a dental thing, know this. Sore, bleeding gums are one of the oldest known signs of low vitamin C because that tissue needs it to stay strong. Sign 20. Bruising at the slightest bump. Bruises turning up from knocks you barely noticed or don't remember at all. When vitamin C is low, the tiny blood vessels under your skin turn fragile and break easily. If you've suddenly become a person covered in mystery bruises, this one's worth a look. Sign 21. Cuts and sores that won't heal. A scrape that lingers for weeks. A sore that just won't close up. Your body needs vitamin C to knit tissue back together, so slow healing is often a quiet signal that the tank is running low. And that's all 21. Now for the part you've been waiting for, how to actually close these gaps, because this is where it gets genuinely encouraging. Almost all of it comes down to food, real, ordinary grocery store food. For B12, it's in eggs, fish, meat, and dairy. But remember, after 60, this is mostly an absorption problem, so if those B12 signs rang true, food is a start, but you may need a supplement form your body can actually take up. That's a quick conversation with your doctor or pharmacist. For vitamin D, a little sunlight, fatty fish like salmon and sardines, fortified milk. For a lot of us this far north, a simple D3 supplement through the darker months does most of the work. For magnesium, and this one's the delicious one, leafy greens, almonds, cashews, pumpkin seeds, beans, even a square of dark chocolate. A small handful of nuts a day moves the needle more than people expect. For iron, red meat, poultry, beans, lentils, spinach. And here's a small trick worth its weight in gold. Pair your iron with vitamin C. A squeeze of lemon on the spinach, beans alongside tomatoes. The vitamin C dramatically boosts how much iron you absorb. 2 birds, 1 stone. And for vitamin C itself, citrus, berries, bell peppers, broccoli, tomatoes. Easy. Now here's the encouraging part I promised. A lot of these gaps fill fast. We're not talking years. Fill a magnesium gap and the cramps and the broken sleep can ease within a few weeks. Correct low vitamin C and gums can settle quickly. Your body wants to recover. It's just been waiting on the raw materials. One honest word before you go reorganizing your pantry. Food first, always. And before you add any new supplement, especially if you take medication, run it past your pharmacist or your doctor. A few of these nutrients interact with common prescriptions, and the goal is to help your body, not surprise it. If several of these signs rang true, the smartest first move is often a simple blood test, so you're filling the gap you actually have instead of guessing. So step back and look at what we just did. 21 signs. Tingling, fatigue, fog, cramps, broken sleep, bleeding gums. They look like 21 separate complaints, 21 little pieces of getting old. They're not. They're a language. It's your body telling you, in the only way it can, exactly what it's short on. And once you can read that language, you stop feeling like you're falling apart, and you start feeling like someone who knows what their body needs. That's the whole shift. From, I guess this is just aging, to, I know what this is and I know what to do about it. So here's what I want you to do. Don't try to fix all 5 nutrients at once. Pick the one sign that sounded the most like you, the one that made you think, that's me. Find the nutrient it points to, and start there this week. One change, one nutrient. That's how this actually works. You don't need to overhaul your whole life. You need to listen to what your body has already been telling you, and answer it. If this helped you make sense of something you've been carrying for a while, subscribe. This is exactly the kind of thing I'm here to help you with. Take good care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one.